All right, we on. We on.
Hell yeah.
Ladies, gentlemen, everybody, y'all, I'd like to welcome to the podcast Kendra Dawsey in the
Hi,
house.
everyone. Hi. I'm so excited to be here. This is a really awesome podcast. Thank you so much, Shay, for having me on.
Of course. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your work day. You told me you're still rocking the same shirt from work.
Yes,
Okay.
I I've worn the same shirt more than 24 hours in a row, and then you just take it off when you have the next shower. That's
Li-
that's how you got to do sometimes.
Listen, like I respect it. Sometimes, listen, we out here grinding. People have been. It's been a rough year.
Yes, it's been
So
such a
I've
rough
heard.
year.
So I've heard.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. Allegedly, it's been a rough year. I don't want to make any allegations. I don't want 2020 or 2021 coming at me in my DMs. Like, please, like, I don't want no smoke with any one of you years. And you got your homie coming up next, 2022. I don't want no smoke. Just no fucking bad vibes. All right.
Yeah.
But for real, how are you?
I'm doing okay. There's yeah, I I'm the type of person where I like accidentally do too much all the time.
Okay.
So there are times where I'm like, oh, I should sleep more. And this is one of the like I took vacations from my day job to do other jobs. Like that's kind of where I've been,
Oh, so
which is not
you really out here grinding. Like,
I I don't even like mean to yeah, I think I just like sign up for a lot of things and then I'm like, oh, I'm doing a lot.
what you signing up for? I
Um
mean, are you doing like 5Ks or like passing out water?
oh
I mean,
no.
it's like,
I don't run. I'm too beautiful to run. No. No, I'm just not good at running. I it's like kind of like um I have a friend who recently started a company and she's been like trying to like get me on board and I'm trying to figure out how that fits in with like the other things and then some of it's comedy. Where was I? Oh, I was in most recently I was in Provincetown to do a show and then I also like hung out a little bit. So that was like an actual little bit of vacation. But before I was in Philadelphia for a retreat and then I just like drive a lot. That's
so
basically
Provincetown. I gotta bring that up because I've yet to really go to Provincetown, P Town, as
yeah.
the locals refer to it. Correct. So
Yes.
I went. Me being new to Massachusetts, being new to New England, I was told that you got to go to P Town, check it out. I did it during 2020 when nothing was open, and because I got stir crazy, and I was like, I just want to drive to P Town. Me and my wife, we just got in the car. There's
Yeah.
nothing there, but it was beautiful. They got that big ass tower that looks like some Game of Thrones shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I was like,
Yeah.
whoa. So I mean, please, if you could give me and the listeners what is your interpretation? What is the vibe of P Town?
Yeah. So it was actually my first time there too.
Okay.
Um I've lived in New England like a good third of my life at least and I have not been this was my first time in Provincetown.
Mm.
So it's known as like the gay vacation spot. It's not exclusively gay but it's like predominantly gay, like
Okay.
um
It's gay adjacent.
it's oh it's like straight up gay but there's some straight people that also come on for the fun, you know what I
I
mean?
get you.
Like it's also like a pretty area, so like
Right.
but like there's a lot of like clubs that are like geared towards like gay men in
Mm.
the downtown spot. They have what's called Bear Week, which is just like the term for like burly gay men that are a little
Oh,
bit hairy and they all just descend on P Town, and that's why there was a COVID outbreak in P Town this
really?
summer.
Wow.
Yeah. And this is so like I had a show in P Town recently, but I was like doing research looking at the cases, and um the outbreak has mostly been contained mostly because so many people who got COVID were vaccinated. So
Right.
it could have been so much worse. Like there was
Right.
only like 7 hospitalizations out of like 300, 400 cases,
Right.
which
And
is
zero, and
yeah.
there were zero deaths.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
exactly. So
remember
it's
seeing that.
like vaccines work. A lot of gays got COVID because they were making out with each other, but vaccines work. And everyone could get it if you make out with each other.
Yeah, okay. I was about to say, I was like, what? Why does this only apply to our Berenstain friends? You know what I mean? Like, it's not just bears that can get it. All right, don't give misinformation.
You're right. It's not just bears that can get COVID. It was just bear week, so there were there's probably a large bear population.
Don't start spreading some false information, some QAnon shit, and we're gonna fuck around and get canceled today.
I am not trying to pull a DeBaby. My sympathies are with the gay bear community who was affected by the recent outbreak. I do not believe, it is not your fault. Get tested, get all of that. But there's usually a lot of people in P-Town during the summer because it's like a tourist space. So I think there's even more people this particular week. So when I was there, it wasn't completely empty. I was walking around and I was like, oh, there's people here. But all the businesses were like, oh, we're not doing well this week because people are scared to come, which sucks. Understandably, people don't want to reduce the risk of COVID, and businesses are suffering because everything's so messy.
How did it feel to be back on stage and just?
It felt really good. Yeah. I'm fully vaccinated. I've been getting tested like twice a week just to like make sure, because comedy is like pretty much back and people are laughing in rooms without masks on. So I'm like, just in case. But yeah, it was so much fun. It was such a like nice little room. The like owners were really nice. And we had a pretty good crowd given that everyone was afraid to go to P-Town. So yeah, I had a good time. It is really beautiful. Like there's a lot of areas in the surrounding place where it's just like nice little like sea marshes and stuff. So I really want to go back at some point when I'm not like for an actual vacation and not like, oh, like I will stay around after my show to hang out. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's nice. I approve of Provincetown.
All right. Well, that's Provincetown. You out here. You're out here. You taking care of people, making sure people have a good time and laugh. You talked about how you grew up in New England for a third of your life. Where's the? I'm not good at math, but where's the remaining 2/5? I just need
so I grew what I consider my hometown is like a small town in like upstate New York, but I think I lived for Georgia for like 3 years when I was younger.
Okay.
And then when I went to college, I moved into Connecticut. So since then, but like I grew up in like New York, I guess, not like close to New York City, but not quite.
Okay, I get you. So if you could tell me about growing up in upstate New York, growing up in Connecticut. What was it like? You have to understand. I grew up on the West Coast. I was about
to say you're from.
I'm from LA and Orange County, and then Utah in my 20s and all that stuff. So I mean, like, I have no idea. I mean, I've been to like Albany, Syracuse, Rochester, where my dad's originally from.
Oh, cool.
And I've been to the saddest town in New York, which is Niagara Falls, because it had no plan. Like no plan. It is it is a sad town.
You go there and it's just like, we have the waterfall. Why else are you here? Right. We don't need to provide you with anything else.
And thank God Niagara Falls is so loud, because if it was a quiet little river, you could hear people on the other side in Canada having a fucking blast. Like so
like they're partying over there, like, hell yeah, let's do this.
Yeah, and I'm just at Rainforest Cafe in Niagara Falls, New York, just eating a sad spin dip. It's bad. Anyway. But yes, upstate New York, Connecticut, please, if you
So I grew up, the town I grew up in, there's a lot of contention about what's considered upstate New York. I'm a New York City supremacist because I hate where I grew up. So I'm like, if it is above the Bronx, it is upstate New York.
Okay.
But where I grew up was like an hour from New York City. So it wasn't like far up there. It's a town called Mahopac. It has a very funny Urban Dictionary entry, because it's mostly just like, it's a bunch of Italians and like kids on weed, which is an accurate description of my
Yeah.
town. It was
Good for them.
boring. Yeah, it was a boring town. It was like pretty conservative.
Okay.
My parents moved there because they're like, oh, we heard the school system's good, but I was like, there's like 2% Black people. Like my parents didn't know anyone else in the town, and most people like had been lived, like their family lived there, or their family lived in the town over. So it was like, it was boring. I left as soon as I could.
I get you. Okay, I get
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I went to Connecticut where, yeah, I went to college. And also, yeah, like all of New England is haunted. You've probably heard people say that.
Yeah.
It's mad haunted in this area.
Yes. Why? What the fuck? Like my mother-in-law, when we were staying with her for a little bit, she was like, I think there's a ghost in the house. And she's like, but it's just in the hallway. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? just in the hallway.
It's just hanging out in the hallway.
Yeah,
like the ghost doesn't want to go into rooms.
That's even worse, because it's like just that creepy dude that just in the break room that just never leaves the break room. And so I don't like that. Like go to your room. Go to your room, ghost. Like pontificate. You know?
Yeah. One of my friends in college, she was living in a off-campus apartment, and she was like, yeah, I keep hearing weird sounds in my bedroom. And then come to find out, like a few tenants ago, there was like a young woman who committed suicide in her bedroom. So she like had to like apologize to the ghost and be like, I'm sorry you were in so much pain, so that there was like less weird noises and a less weird vibe in the apartment. It's just like Connecticut's fucking haunted, like everywhere.
Matter of fact, I remember this. I was on the road. We did the Hartford Funny Bone with a couple other comics, and my buddy was using Apple Maps. This is important because I'm an advocate for Apple Maps is trash. I think that is
same. I agree.
My buddy was like, he wanted to go to 7-Eleven to get a Diet Coke, and he put it in Apple Maps, and we were like, don't put it in Apple Maps. Yo, tell me why we were in Connecticut and we put in 7-Eleven Apple Maps and it took us to a fucking cemetery. I shit.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, what?
Connecticut is haunted. Oh. It is fucking haunted. The vibes are off in Connecticut. Like, and there's some Hartford Funny Bone is a great room. Like,
yes.
Thank you, Fred. This is not against any of the comedy establishments in Connecticut.
It's against 7-Elevens.
It's against 7-Elevens. It's against the state. Yeah. Also, there's so many times I was coming back from a show. So I used to live in New Haven, which is a city on the bottom. Mm-hmm. There's so many times I would be driving back from a show late at night, and I'd stop at a gas station and I'd be like, am I allowed to be in this town this late at night? Like, it's just, the vibes are off, and I try to just put gas in my car and then zoom away. But like, there's weird parts of Connecticut.
Yeah. I mean, it's okay. So I got to ask you, which do you believe in more? Do you believe that, do you believe in ghosts, or do you believe in the conspiracy that there is like the man? Like, your thoughts.
With a caveat, I am more likely to believe conspiracy theories about the man, but not the conspiracy theories that we know are real. Like not like QAnon, like, oh, like Donald Trump is saving babies from being eaten. Like, what? Like the stuff where
that's a theory? People that's out there?
That is what QAnon believes, that Donald Trump is like a savior ordained from God to stop Hillary Clinton from eating babies. It makes no sense.
Whoa.
I know.
First off, like, one, I've never Googled like QAnon. For like 2 months, I was afraid to say it because I just felt like the man was just gonna come through and just swipe me up. But I have yet to Google it. I don't know anything about it because I was like, I noticed they started filtering everything out. I was like, I don't want to put myself on a watch list. You know, my browser history is suspect enough. So I'm just like, let's just not and say we did. And so when anybody brings up like, you could tell me, you know, QAnon believes in, I don't know, that jellyfish will soon walk the earth. I don't know. And I would be like, yeah, I mean, good for them. You know, they deserve a chance. You know? But
Yeah, it's weird. It's so weird. I only know about it from that like HBO Max special, and then like
I won't
I
even
guess
watch that.
okay, it's the special about it is fascinating because it just like proves how stupid it is, but so many people believe in it. It's like literally some random dude was like posted on 8chan, which is like the absolute like toilet of the internet.
That
That's
I
like
do
the
know.
most racist,
Yeah.
like blah 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 blah. Like people will post jokes about the Holocaust for fun.
Oof.
And like some dude was like, oh, let me post here and pretend to be a government official and then say like, oh, like I'm close to President Trump, I'm in his cabinet, and like we know shit's about to go down and like there's clues everywhere. And then people fucking believed it. It's so weird. Like
Wow.
it's such a weird part of our society that people are like, yeah, I think like Q is real, and like and it's bizarre.
So so when you were a kid, did you have any conspiracy theories that you were like told like or clearly you believed in ghosts?
Yeah, because I lived in haunted Northeast. Um,
Ooh.
so it's interesting. It's not quite conspiracy theories, but
Mhm.
I was a kid that was like kind of anxious at some points about some things. Like
Yeah.
I remember when I was 6, I would also like research the most random shit and become obsessed with it for like a
Really?
month and then forget about it. So like when I was 6, I learned about like the myth of Atlantis, probably from like that Disney movie, like Hidden Treasure Planet or Hidden
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
whatever. But like yeah, that myth where there was like an island in the middle of the ocean and then it sank and like and blah blah blah. And I was reading about it and like learning about it, and then my family went to a resort, I think in the Bahamas,
Mm.
called Atlantis. And I was like 6 years old, so I was really young, but the entire time I was there I was afraid like the entire resort would just like sink into the ocean for some reason.
Wow.
So and I mean I'm mostly okay now. Obviously it did not sink into the ocean, but I remember my mom was telling me later, she was like, yeah, that's when I was like, you were probably reading too much, when like I just ruined this vacation by being anxious and like um I mean that's not a conspiracy theory, that's just like
I
me
mean,
having.
this I mean, but you got to think about it. Like okay, go back to whenever Atlantis was the myth of it. That was a fucking conspiracy. That at that
That's
time,
true.
that's
Yeah.
like that was QAnon. Like, I get, fucking,
Yeah.
fry up some
Yeah.
mermaids and just call it good. I don't know, but did you so when you were growing up in the Northeast, everything's haunted, everything's danger.
Yes.
Like, uh, your friends, uh, were you kind of a loner, or did you have friends and y'all play like, did y'all like dare each other to do shit? What was like the scary? Did y'all have the scary house? Was there a scary mansion?
Oh, we didn't have a scary house. So I moved to the town I considered my hometown, I guess when I was like 8, and before I lived like outside of Atlanta and Georgia, but I wasn't born there. I like was in New York, moved to Georgia, moved back basically. So when I first moved back, I didn't have that many friends because I was like kind of weird and like I was a new girl. And
Okay.
most people had lived there their entire lives. But I did like slowly make some friends as I got older. And my friends were like kind of nerdy. I remember once me and my friend like read the dictionary to each other, like because we were bored on the phone.
What?
We were nerds. Yeah, I was a
On
huge
the
nerd.
phone? On the
On
phone?
the yeah, like
Fucking up
I'm
the night and weekend minutes? Hey, like,
I used a landline to do that. I had a landline.
that's fuck.
All right.
In a way, like I'm sure your parents were like, you know what? She reading like you reading the dictionary, like, because I know if my dad, like, he popped up on the phone, he'd be like, yo, get your ass off the phone, stop talking to somebody that you don't need to be talking to. But if you like, that's a good cover. That's a good cover. Just like, hey, we're just reading the dictionary.
I honestly was. I was 12 years old, just bored reading the dictionary with my friend. Like we were like, oh, like we flipped open to like a random page and we were like, read the first word that you like looked at. We're so nerdy. But like my friends weren't really that daring.
Okay.
I like
It's it.
like I
Turn
don't
to the
remember.
appendix of the dictionary. I dare you to turn to that motherfucker.
Yeah, like to read me a word, look up what sex means in the dictionary. Yeah. that was like me and my like I was until I was like 15, 16, I was a huge fucking nerd. Like I took all the AP classes. Me and my friends would have study parties before a big test in
I
our
love this
class.
shit.
Like I was such a huge nerd. And then I smoked weed. And then I became cool actually. But so this friend I was reading the dictionary with is actually a good friend. She is my oldest friend. Her name is Natalie. She is my oldest friend. And we met in 6th grade, but she had like friends beforehand. And she was talking to me and she was like, yeah, like my other friends around that time were really scary. And we'd play hide and seek in someone's basement as 12-year-old girls, or not hide and seek, like truth or dare.
Okay.
And all the dares that the other girls at the sleepover had were like, oh, I dare you to like go outside and hump a tree and film it, or like something like weirdly horny for a 12-year-old girl. And she was like, I didn't understand what was going on. I was afraid of the dare. All of it was like, I dare you to pretend like this is what I wasn't invited to these sleepovers because I wasn't cool. But
you're not out there fucking trees. I mean, you gotta.
Yes. Yeah.
Kendra, you gotta fuck a tree to be cool. Like you have, you know this.
You have to fuck a tree to be cool as a 12-year-old girl in Mahopac, New York.
I better see you on Arbor Day just twerking on that tree.
Yeah, but she was like, I was afraid of the sleepovers because they would dare me to do weird shit, and all the dares that I thought of was like cluck like a chicken, like very tame.
Yeah.
And then their dares were like, I dare you to like pretend to have sex on the grass outside, or like something like intense. And her literal words were like, straight 12-year-old girls were so horny for some reason. Like that is what she said. She was like, they were weirdly horny and I did not know why.
And in tune with nature, apparently.
I get like
that's wild. Like, yeah, because I'm trying to think of my truth or dare, and it was mostly just like just straightforward, hey, make out, or or usually involving lighting something on fire or blowing shit up, because boys are just dumb like that.
I'm into that. I want to light something on fire. Like that's a chill dare.
I mean, yeah, it pretty much is. I remember like lighting up styrofoam, which is, sorry, environment, but like but in my mind, I grew up on Captain Planet, so like in my mind that was fucking dangerous, and so I was just like, yeah, I'm harming the earth right now. But that's cool. Truth or dare, humping trees, humping grass.
Yeah. And I would be at home alone, like with my cat. I don't know.
Only child?
Yes, I am an only child. Most people say they can't tell, which I consider a huge compliment.
I really couldn't tell, like, honestly.
That is amazing. Okay. Yeah. So my cousins lived with me for a little bit when I was growing up, which probably like cut down on the only childness. But I am an only child, technically.
Well, I mean, I grew up an only child, and like it is. I get it, and I had like my brother. We known each other since we were like 6 months old, and we're like 26 days apart. So like but he's brother, like he's still like at the end of the day he's my brother, but he's like brother adjacent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I get that, where you're just like, you had these friends that you grow up with over time, and it's crazy. Do y'all still talk? Your cousins? Are you still tight with them? Or?
A little bit. Like they're on my mom's side of my family, which is my more dramatic side of the family. No offense to them, but they've gone through some stuff. We like do kind of keep in touch, but like one of my cousins kind of like had a falling out with my mom.
I get you.
And then my mom had a falling out with her dad.
It's family business. My bad.
No, it's no, don't feel bad. It is, there's some parts of it that are kind of funny.
Yeah.
Like, there's also parts of it that I don't want to say because I don't want to put someone in prison again. But put someone in prison again. You out here putting people in prison the first time? No. I just don't want to say something incriminating.
Got you.
I've never put someone in prison as far as I know. Yeah. But
we all got cousins like that, so it's fine. I got mine.
Yeah, sometimes it's just, it just happens. But it seems like they're doing pretty good. one of them did get out of, I don't know if it's prison or jail. I know there's a difference. But he like got out, but he seems to be doing pretty good for himself. He like is putting on, he like bought like a bar, I
Mhm.
guess. And I was like, he was like, we're gonna do shows. And I was like, book me. And he was like, okay.
Hell yeah.
Um,
Hell yeah.
but yeah, like that, I think, yeah, I think families could just sometimes there's a lot going on with families. Uh and you know, some I mean I make some like references to some like some
Yeah.
funny in my set. Like
I
I
was actually just perfect transition because I was actually about to ask you how, like, with your haunted vibe. How do you bring I'll give you the interview that they ask you at Sundance Film
okay.
Festival.
Ooh.
As a haunted black, like, please tell us about your experience as a haunted black, please.
Oh my god, that's such a great question. Thank you. That's such a deep question. No, that's
Because you know they'll fucking ask you that.
you're right. Yeah. No, it's so like I grew up like in the suburbs, like kind of middle class, but the rest of my family didn't. Like my parents grew up in the hood, like in Harlem, like their families did.
What's up?
And like most of my extended family just like, yeah, grew up in New York City. So
Okay.
I've always, and then like my town was mostly white, like it was very white. It wasn't great on race, so like I felt like I didn't kind of fit in either world,
Yeah.
which I guess is like, well, a lot of like suburban blacks. I'm not saying that to be like, oh, like feel bad for me,
Yeah.
it's just what it was. So like um yeah, I guess it's interesting. Like I know I sound like, I know if I'm on the phone I sound white, and like I'm not gonna
No, you sound
pretend.
educated. I'm
Okay,
sorry. I'm gonna
okay.
cut you off because I don't buy into that shit. I just don't. I get like, because I'll agree to disagree. I'm not trying to like
Okay.
debate you on it, but like I
Yeah.
get why you say that. But me being a little bit older, I had to like take that out of my brain
I get
because
that.
I was
Yeah.
just like, because it made it, if I felt like I was doing a disservice to myself. Because me, like, our paths are similar. I grew up in LA, and then I got moved out to the suburbs, and then I got moved out to the super suburb that is Salt Lake City, Utah,
Yeah.
and then now I'm in New England. So
Yeah.
I just keep moving away from the cookout, and so I get it. Like it's and but I sound like I sound. I always sound like I'm from LA. I will always sound like I'm a little bit from North Carolina, and also I sound educated at times when I'm not. But you sound educated. Like when I
I
first
get that.
heard you, because my first experience with you was we did that room up in Somerville. It
Was
was
it Slum Brew?
Yeah, it was Slumber. I think
Might have been Slum Brew.
Kanice was there. Kanice It
Yes.
was shout out
Oh,
to
that might have been the last Slum Brew show.
it was Logan O'Brien was hosting,
Oh
and
God.
yeah,
Well,
and
R.I.P. Slum Brew.
yes,
Kanice, you're great.
yes. Shout out to Slum Brew. You RIP, but like I saw your set, and that was the first thing. I didn't. Yeah, I get it. We as black people get displaced in these suburban neighborhoods, and don't. This is not a fucking in the arms of an angel Sarah McLachlan commercial. No, like we're not refugees. We're, you don't need to send money. Well, if you want to, drop that Venmo.
Yeah, if you want to give me money, I'll take
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
but it's like I never said like don't feel sorry for me. I don't feel like a victim. I feel like the victor. Because like we're able to go places in our culture that some people may not be able to go to, and
Yeah.
we're able to move a little bit different. And so, but people that are my family that's still in the hood, they move different. And it's like we
Yeah.
have that mutual respect. So I don't see it as like, oh, I just sound like me. You sound like you. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I felt bad because I like jumped. I was like, "Don't you
No,
dare!"
I understand. I understand what you mean. I would like, I don't mean like my vocabulary. I feel like in some ways, is that a stick? Are you
That,
waving a stick?
that is a one. I have a Harry Potter wand.
I was like, you're waving. Um, like if I am on, like I have a white, I go into my white voice on the phone, right?
I
And
get
it's
it.
more of like
You're
my
built like this.
tone of voice and like not so much like what I'm saying, but more of like my tone of voice and like being really nice, which unfortunately people don't expect Black women to be really nice, which is, stupid.
Yeah.
And I know if I sound white on the phone, I could, get a like
I
job
get it.
interview.
I get it.
Yeah.
I call it my LinkedIn premium voice. You know what I mean?
Yes,
You know what I'm saying?
that is the term,
Because
LinkedIn premium.
that's the voice. Really, that's all it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Right now you getting indeed.com. Just like, that's you getting this is we keeping it Craigslist, we keeping it, just Facebook marketplace. This is the
Yeah, this is my Facebook marketplace voice.
yeah,
This is
so
yeah.
that's fine. That's fine. But everybody does that. You feel me? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like,
Yeah.
and so because I've seen white people do their white voice, and I'm like, oh, you really with this shit? Like, like, oh,
Yeah.
you really you okay? All right, I see you, Kurt. You know what I mean? Like,
There was one, so like I was working for a nonprofit that did a lot of like education, environmental education programs, and for one of them it was like, oh, you could drop off your kid early and like the kid would hang out with me.
yeah, yeah,
So I was talking to, like, I think he built like a Lego man. It was really sweet. And I got a call and I like picked up and I was like, hello, like I think it might have been for like a job or something. So I was like, hello, how are you today? Like blah blah blah. And like the call ended and he was like, you talked different when you were on the phone. Like the kid realized I code switched
yeah,
and he didn't have the words. And I was like, yeah, sometimes you just do that.
yeah. Like, I had a good conversation with some friends over the weekend about code switching because
Yeah.
a lot of people don't, it's not just us blacks that do it.
Yeah.
It's not just us haunted blacks that do it.
That's gonna be Jordan Peele's new movie,
Yeah,
Haunted Blacks.
haunted blacks. I think that's every Jordan Peele movie, to be
I mean,
honest.
yes, that's
Yeah,
very true.
yeah,
Which I love horror. I love
yeah,
Black
same.
people in horror.
Same.
So
Yeah. So
yeah.
yeah, we are haunted blacks. Like, I love it. But I mean, like, I think everybody code switches. Doesn't matter,
Yeah.
where you go. Like, one of my favorite scenes in a movie Departed is where they call out Leonardo DiCaprio, and they're like, you switched accents when you went on from North Shore to South Shore. It's the same fucking thing,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's everybody does it, and so it's just like it's not just black and brown people, or excuse me, BIPOC that do it. It's just we all do it. We all do it.
Yeah.
And so but I think it's a survival skill, and that helps us move different in different neighborhoods.
Definitely.
It'll get you out of a fucking jam.
Yeah. No, it definitely does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if I'm approaching someone with a question, I know I should use that voice or like
Right.
be a little bit, yeah, I think people who are like hyper aware of how they're perceived are probably more aware that they're code switching, because there's probably like white people who do it but are like, oh, that's just like me. That's they like don't, I guess, like they don't realize all the things
Yeah.
behind it. Whereas I'm like, oh, if I like speak in this voice, if I have a question and I need
Right.
to approach a random white lady, I
Right.
should like do this and this and this,
Yeah. We're
Yeah,
all just switching back from Facebook Marketplace to LinkedIn Premium on a daily basis.
all
So
the time.
so this being about our childhood, I gotta ask you now, do you remember your first code switch? Thank you. Go ahead.
Oh my God, that is a great question. No, that's a really good question. I
Not
I
fuck your first kiss. I want to know your first code switch.
No, that's a great fucking question. I don't know.
I,
It was also, so it's also weird because so like from 3 to 6 I was like in Georgia
okay.
with my mom, and like I remember there were a few times I would say something that was like southern. Like I think I said ma'am, or like
Yeah.
I think one of the things I said was like strawberry soda.
Oh yeah.
Like yeah. And I remember my mom would be like, no, don't talk like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like as a New Yorker, like
Right.
she sounded like she was from New York. She has a strong New York accent. But I don't know if that's code switching. I think that was just like me living in the South and then like picking
Right.
up what people were saying. And my mom was like,
That's
no. Yeah.
she's like, shut it down. But
Yeah. She was like, no more.
I say y'all way too much. I say
I say
folk.
y'all.
I say
Yeah.
folks way too much. I say there are some points where I will just straight up sound country if you really really pay it, because my wife, she'll just look at me like, what the fuck, where are you from? And so, but it's a survival tactic. What was
Yeah.
your favorite game to play besides reading the dictionary? I know, did you switch over to the thesaurus? Did you hit up, like, or like, did you
So
have
like
a board
video
game,
games, like video
card
games.
game,
Okay.
video game, any of that?
I really like Spyro, and I was like Spyro the Dragon. Yeah.
Yes.
My aunt introduced me to Spyro the Dragon. My
Yes.
aunt Faye, she's the cool aunt. She was like, "Hey, you want to play this?" I was like, "Fuck yeah!" As like
Were
a
you
nine
smoking
year
weed at
old.
this time?
No, I
Okay.
didn't. I didn't literally say fuck yeah, but
Right.
uh, yeah, I really
Was
like
she smoking weed
Spyro.
at this time?
Yes. Oh, my family, weed's legal. My
Yeah.
my family has smoked weed. Like, in fact, I realized that my dad had smoked weed because the first time I smelled it, I was like, oh, my dad smells like this sometimes. Like, it
Yeah.
was like a connection like that.
Okay.
Um, yeah, weed is such a chill. Like, it's also interesting. I don't know what your experience with your family is like. Also, I know this is a little bit off topic, but I like meet
Okay.
people and they're like, yeah, my parents like don't drink or don't smoke, and they didn't let me do this or this and this. And I was like, yo, my parents were chill. My parents are like, try some wine when I was like 16, not to the
Right.
point where like,
Right.
I was going crazy, but like my
Yeah.
parents were like, yeah, alcohol helps some people feel good.
Right.
Some drugs are chill. And I
Right.
was like, okay.
My parents kind of had that policy where it was just basically like, I'd rather you do it with, like, if you're gonna try it with me, where you have this limitation, or it's
Yeah.
like, here, have a swig of a beer, see what it tastes like. And I was like, ew, gross. And
Yes.
I didn't like the taste of it, because and then I was like, all right, well, I'm not gonna do that. And then eventually, when I was 15, doing a keg stand,
Oh
like,
wow.
yeah, that's when my dad moved me out to the suburbs, and I
Yeah.
was I was hanging out with the American Pie crowd, and it was just,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, you know what I mean? So you know the fucking vibes. I was just out there being a little reckless. So yeah, it was cool. It was cool. Uh,
Yeah.
Board games, or like, so you were Spiral the Dragon, great game. Board games,
Excellent.
card games, or like,
I so yeah, I liked Uno,
okay.
of course.
That, okay, I gotta ask, what, because every black household is different with Uno
Yeah.
rules. Like, how
Mhm.
did y'all play straight up, or did y'all have like the old, like, your own rules, or?
The way I learned Uno and the way I played with like my family and
Mhm.
like friends, family friends, we played so that you could put we played that you could stack the like plus twos and plus like
Yeah,
draw twos and draw
right,
fours. So like if you had two draw twos, you could put them both down.
right. That's how you play.
Yeah, I heard that like the official Uno maker was like, no, that's not how you do it.
Fuck that guy.
Exactly.
But now that,
African Americans across the nation were like, you're wrong.
yeah,
You
you're
created
wrong.
this game, but you're wrong.
It's true. It's so fucking true, because like, and now the new Uno rules basically state, there's the house rules games. They basically, they made that for black and brown families. They're like, all right, we tired, because they were probably getting emails from, families that were torn apart. Uno will fuck up a family real quick.
Uno will fuck people. People have gotten into fights. Like, yeah, Uno's serious.
Yeah.
Did you learn how to play spades? I have like I
Yes.
always okay. This is my parents' fault. Like if I lose my black card, my parents did not teach me how to play spades. They taught me like too old, and now
Right.
whenever I play, I have to relearn. Like,
I still can play. My
okay.
brother does not trust me though.
Why
Like,
not?
like every now and then he'll just text me a random like, straight up, I know for a fact he'll send me like a random hand, be like, hey, how many books is this? And I'm like, fuck, it's just, it's this black pop quiz that he gives me, and I'm just like, oh shit. But I'm glad he does it. I'm just glad he does it. Like, and bro, if you're listening, keep sending them text messages. I feel like that's what I'm gonna start sending you messages of, like, hey, how many books is this? And if you answer, I'll give
You
you
don't
I'll give you I'll make it multiple choice, and It could be all of the above.
I would need to like consult with my Negro council.
Negro council. All right.
Send it to a few of my friends and be like, I don't know how to play spades. Could you help me?
It's see now the game that I really wanted to learn how to play was Bid Whist. You ever heard of Bid Whist?
Never heard of that.
So Bid Whist is like that's like from what and my understanding of that shit was like super spades
okay.
like they like Boston was like a if you ran a Boston, that was like a good thing. I can't see like there right now there are black listeners like throwing their fucking phone across the room because they're like Google exists, dude. Like you could download an app and like play, like learn to play. But I would, that's how I learned how to like make a drink. And you know, I was a good little barkeep because my dad would host these little bid whist tournaments at the house, and you know, there'd be like 40 people in the house and all these different card tables and you know, it was that's how for me that's how I learned was watching my family and friends play cards. You know, I was all so cards was like a big part, and I learned how to play poker. So that like that's why I always ask about cards because I know that especially black families, we played a lot of cards, talk a lot of shit.
Yes. Yeah. My grandfather used to play like solitaire in his garage while like smoking a cigar. Like that was his favorite thing to do. And he would use the same card deck and it was like so well worn. But yeah, that's like I would watch him like play solitaire, and I tried to join in on the card games that my family played when I was younger, but I like wasn't, you know, I was 10, I wasn't great at it. And then as we got older, I was like, yo, we're gonna play cards. I'm gonna fuck you up in cards. And they're like, okay, Kendra.
So is that where you learned how to talk shit? And that's is that the comedy like because we haven't even really gotten to your career yet, but I mean like how when did it start gravitating towards comedy? When did you like know you were funny? Like when do you remember like the first time you made somebody laugh?
I don't remember the first time I made someone laugh. I do remember I for some reason most of my memories are like of like people telling me I'm not funny, which they do less now, book me. But I remember people have told me I'm funny now. I remember in 5th grade, I tried to make a joke and my teacher was like, Kendra, like your jokes aren't even funny. Like, why do you keep like throwing in these things? Your jokes aren't even funny. I know, right? Yeah. Miss Dore, Austin Road Elementary. I remember.
Whoa. Damn. Like this straight up, yo, be like, yo, your shit's trash, bro. You know what I mean? Like what the fuck?
This white woman told a 10-year-old black girl her shit was trash in nice words, but still. But I wanted to be a class clown, but I don't think people really thought I was funny until I was like in high school, I think.
Right. But you have an excellent vocabulary, and now I know why. Like I was because what like reading the fucking dictionary. Oh my God. I think about the times where I'd be on the phone with my friends and like we would say the dumbest shit to each other, but you on the phone talking to the dictionary. Like, but I mean, like when you kind of master the English language like that, it makes you describe things in such a fuck, I need a dictionary right now. It helps you master. It helps you master. Fuck. It makes you explain shit good. How about that?
Yes, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
You
be explaining shit good.
I tried. I don't. I don't think I wanted to be funny, and there was around this time. Like I think like 10 to like 14 or even like 15, 16, I would watch all of those Comedy Central, like comedy specials. I would watch Comedy Central all the time. And like, that's where I was like, oh, this is cool.
Who are the ones watching the most?
Okay. So Mitch Hedberg, I thought was hilarious.
Right.
Classic.
R.I.P. One of the greats.
I know. Yeah. My taste in comedians was not as diverse as a 10-year-old girl who grew up in the suburbs, but I really liked Mitch Hedberg. I liked Louis Black.
Yeah.
I still like Louis Black. He's great. Dennis O'Leary, which I feel like if I watched probably wouldn't age as well, but I remember I really liked the one where he like is smoking a cigarette on stage and he's just like complaining. I was into that. who else was there? I was so into Sarah Silverman. I
Yeah.
thought she was really funny. I would watch like SNL all the time.
Yeah.
Like, and yeah. Um, so those are the ones that like stand out to me.
That helps, that help mold you.
Yeah, I think so. Like, um, yeah, those are the ones that like stand out. And there's probably a few that I like, if I put it on, I'll be like, oh, I remember this from when I was
Right.
younger.
How
Um,
how have they influenced you, and as far as like and how, well, yeah, how have they influenced you the most? Like, I mean, with you, those bringing up those particular comedians.
yeah. I think I really admire Lewis, like the Lewis Black style of
Mhm.
like complaining about something or like kind of ranting about something
Right.
on stage, which I don't think I do that much of now, but we're getting out of a pandemic. I might turn into a rant comedian. Like,
I
why not?
I
Like,
love. I'm for it. Whatever you got
thank
on
you.
your, no, like honestly, and I'm gonna keep it funky with you, but it's just like I genuinely want to hear what you have to say.
Oh,
I
thank you. Yeah.
I didn't grow up with um a black individual that identifies as they. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Correct? Then,
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. That's true.
whew,
Yeah.
if I would have got that wrong, I would have been bleeping that shit out and
Oh, it's okay.
no, but
It's also new. So like
okay,
I'm slowly transitioning to they, I guess.
right.
But like, yeah, people are using it more now. Yeah.
So, but yeah, and so that, so I just genuinely want to hear that story. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's just that is I think that is the beauty of comedy, is just that we really get the chance to hear what everybody's side of the story is, because I believe
Yeah.
that life is just, all it is just stories on stories on stories on stories. That's really it. And
Yeah.
so when I hear somebody that's different than me, I'm like, okay, what are they bringing to the table? And so
Mhm.
literally anything you pop up, I'm just like, yes, I'm on board. Let's go
Thank
for it.
you. Thank you. Yeah, I think I appreciate that. And I think one of the reasons I like comedy is I feel like for most of my life I wasn't really listened to because I
Right.
was like kind of shy. I mean, childhood. I think I started becoming a loud, obnoxious person in college, but
Mhm.
there's like a there is a sense of like, oh, like I have the microphone and now
Yes.
people just get to listen to me
Right.
and that is cool, which I'm sure every comedian feels for like different reasons, but it does feel nice to like be like, okay, I'm going to talk about being like a black lesbian for
Right.
like for 10 minutes and people will listen to
And
me.
you
And
and you just gotta shut the fuck up and just
yeah,
enjoy yourself.
exactly. And then if someone heckles me, then I get to make fun of them and then people will laugh. Like that's more
Right.
power than I have in an average setting. Like I can't do that at work. I can't, I can't tell someone to shut up at work. So
I mean, yeah, you can just do it in your LinkedIn premium voice.
yes, you're right. Like,
Yeah.
like I don't think that's relevant to the conversation right now.
Ooh, see, there you go. But I mean, it's, and so okay, so with the they and them pronoun being more a widely accepted thing now, has that helped or hindered your stand up, or just made it, just made it
Um,
easier? I feels like it seemed like it would make it kind of a little bit easier for everyone to just like, all right, I get on board.
yeah, I haven't. So I guess I started using they them pronouns during the pandemic.
Okay. Good time to use it.
Yeah,
People got
it's
time on
like
their hands to Google it. Like it's
exactly. So I haven't been out in the world
Mhm.
doing it too much. And like I have like three one-line jokes about it,
Mhm.
like I don't have some people might have like longer sets and like I think a lot of trans comedians like have very long sets, which is great about their experiences, but like
Yeah.
I'm kind of new. So but it's like it's not been like bad interesting.
Mhm.
I'm just like kind of shy with like telling people, even though I'm a comedian and like I
Mhm.
don't know, people have the right to like say how they should be referred to, but I think there's still a
Yes.
part of me that's a little like shy. So, but I
Oh,
also don't
shit.
want to be like I don't want to be like, oh, that person got it wrong because I
Right.
like just started. like I think literally about a year ago I started using they them. But yeah, it's new. I mean, I've always had jokes about like, I remember like before the pandemic, I had jokes about like, oh, I want to be a hotter version of like people's boyfriends, like straight women's boyfriends or whatever. And jokes
Right.
where it's like kind of about gender, but
Yeah.
not like, I think when people think about jokes about gender, they like automatically assume it's like a woman making fun of men. And it's like, we all have
Right.
genders. Everyone has like experience with gender. Let's just like make fun of it. Cause you
Yeah.
know, it doesn't have to be like about me hating men.
Right.
Yeah, so I had jokes like about that where it was like, oh, like I had jokes about like my strap on, which it's more of a gay thing than gender, but like it,
Okay.
you know.
What color
But
is it?
yeah,
What color is the strap on? I just gotta know.
oh, it's white. I don't I have it around. It's white.
Look,
It's not like it's not it's not a like white man's penis white. It's like ivory.
I don't judge. I fucking pulled out a Harry Potter wand in the middle of this Zoom. Okay. And I
Well,
got a second one. I keep that thing on me. You feel me?
well, I've like told people that I've been seeing, and they're like, "Oh, like what color?" And I'm like, "White." And they're like, "You have a white man's dick?" And I was like, "No, it's not."
That shit. They really, people really give you shit about that?
I mean, not like
Hey,
real like joking, but like it is
you ain't out here doing enough.
like why's your dick? Why you got the white man's dick? Like why you got the white man? But it's but it's like ivory. And actually, my ex-girlfriend bought it for me, and then she was like, "It's your Valentine's Day gift," so I have it. But I don't really like the realistic ones. Like I don't like, I'm fine with like purple or weird. Like I would not want a dildo where it was like, this is supposed to look like an actual piece.
Yeah.
That like
This
that
is
just
Don Lemon. All right. You know, just
yeah, like I don't it's like we don't need all of that. So
right. Okay. Hey, listen, I figured I'd ask because
oh, it's fine.
I figured it'd be like a spiral, the dragon color or something like that.
I have a lot of sex toys that are
Good
purple.
for you. Good for you. Look,
Not that one, but
okay. Hey, I respect your shit. Okay. I am just learning. I am an ally. I am doing my part. I want to. Woo.
you remind me of that little video where it's like a black dad at a pride parade, and someone's like, "How many genders are there?" And he's like, "I don't know. I just got here." Like he's like, I'm just learning. Like, don't.
Right. I mean, but the thing is like we're all just trying our best. Like I took my son to Pride a few years ago, and like I had, because when I lived in Salt Lake City, and Salt Lake City does a fantastic Pride celebration, and so prior before I took my son, I was working at a bar, and usually I would just kind of be a bouncer and work the door for those celebrations. And honestly, it was it was always fun. It was always fun because I knew it was like, this is going to be a day of love, night of love and celebration. So I knew it was the easiest night of my life. The only thing I had to do was maybe break up a fight between two drag queens, and that shit, honestly. And I was like, these niggas are stronger than I am. So I mean, like, it's just like, I'm like, all right, well, I guess this is happening. But like I never had anything crazy. So one year I decided to take that off, and like I really just wanted to take my son and just show it. But I was that black dad who was like, oh shit, I didn't really think this through. Should I front load him with this information, or like, hey, this is bi, this is trans, this is asexual, this is intersex, this is non-bi. I'm like, bro, you are overloading yourself. Just take them and show them. Like, there's a saying that my family would always say in the Carolinas, folks is folks, folks are folks. And like that philosophy has carried me over in such a way that has been so helpful. And I just showed my son. I was like, all right, my son's a big Pokemon fan, so I just said, how there's different types of Pokemon, and I was like, well, certain Pokemon just love, like certain water types just love the same water types. You know, certain water might like fire, and
that's so cute.
but
oh
he
my
was just
God.
with it. He was just with it. You know what I mean? And like, and I was like, just don't ask too many questions. You might see something that's a little bit different that you're maybe not used to, but just shut up and eat a churro and have a good time. Like, and he did. He had a fucking ball. He got a face
That's
painted. It
great.
was cool. And it's just like, I think it's gotten easier over the year. I mean, like, and see, you got like you've been getting like the 2-for-1. So which, okay, I gotta know how much white guilt text did you get last year? Did you
Oh
get
my fucking God.
did you get more about uh identifying as they them, or about in the wake of, you know, everything that happened last year with George Floyd? How much white guilt did you get? I want to know.
I got way more about George Floyd.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I figured.
Yeah. Okay. So, cause like, yeah, I grew up in the suburbs. So
Yeah.
like some of my good friends are white.
Mm-hmm.
So like some of them reached out to me, but I had already been talking to them. And it was like people I feel safe talking about that stuff because they've known me for a while. Like they, you know, they acknowledge I'm a Black person. But then some of it was like people I like hadn't spoken to in 5 years. And I'm like,
right.
Yeah, I'm like, just give me money. Like, I don't want to talk about my trauma with you. I don't know you.
Right. It was fucking wild. Like, so I had a guy reach out to me and he was like, I apologize for calling you nigger when we were in high school. And I'm like, you got the wrong Black dude. Actually, because I don't really talk. And I was like, whoa, but I didn't know you was out there like that.
Holy shit. Holy shit. Oh my God.
I was like, because I even posted that shit on Twitter, I think. I was like, if you're going to apologize for saying some shit, make sure you had the right Black dude. Like, it was, I was like, wow. And I was like, yeesh. I don't know what to say to you, man. Best of luck on your journey. I wish you the best.
I'm glad you apologized, but you should not be apologizing to me.
Yeah, I mean, great. You know, thank you. I guess this is an apology. This is a preemptive apology, you know. So
yeah, God, oh my God, that's so embarrassing on his part. That's hilarious.
I mean, but who? I don't know. People, we all tried our best last year. I mean, I figured there was a lot to learn, and but I'm glad that you were able to like cement yourself and say and not. I noticed we're getting rid of the phrase "come out," and ironically, coincidentally, the day that we record this is August 2nd, which I believe it is in the inviting in. That's the new term.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
Like it's a great article on theroot.com, and I love James Baldwin, but he was James Baldwin was basically like ushered in that inviting in kind of movement. Don't quote me on that, but like that's what I'm gathering. And so like ironically, or excuse me, coincidentally, today is that inviting in day. So what was it, the invite in first and then the come out, or like
no, that's a good question.
Because especially, and I'm sorry, real quick, like,
of course.
because and what I'm trying to get to my listeners is that they're talking about, a lot of people come out, but in the Black community where, you know, anything different, and so is taboo or whatever. And I'm not shitting on that, but it's just like, it's been a little bit more difficult in Black communities for people to come out. So the invite in is more of what really occurs.
Yeah.
And did you experience that, or was that just easy? You're just like, yo,
it was actually, I feel like it might have been a little bit more of like the invite in. Like, so my family knows like, my family has seen my stand-up set. They know I'm gay.
Yeah.
They're very supportive.
That's what's up.
I think I was just felt so weird about discussing my sexuality, not because of anything they said, just because it's, you know, when you're a teen, it's weird in general. And then if you're gay, it's even more awkward. So like, I think there was like once where I like brought over a friend, but it was my girlfriend or something.
Mhm.
And I was like, yeah, this is so and so. Um, and my family was, yeah, they were fine. I think there's also a trope of like Black families, especially. I'm sure like white people might have a version, but there's a trope of like, oh, your aunt who's been living with like her good friend in a 1-bedroom apartment for
Yeah, yeah,
10
yeah.
years,
That's a
where it's
friend.
like, yes,
Yeah.
where it's like not, it's not discouraged, it's just not said explicitly. And I
Right.
think like, I mean, my family says it explicitly, but I think like there is some level of that sometimes where it's like, yeah, we're just gonna mind our business. Like if you want to tell us, then sure.
Right.
But
Right.
otherwise, we love your
Right.
friend,
Yeah,
you know.
air quotes, your friend.
Yeah.
So I keep thinking of a friend of mine who realized that she was bi when she saw the movie The Mummy with Brendan Fraser, Rachel
Oh yeah.
Weisz. Did you have like that epiphany where you were like, oh, this is it, where you're watching Spy Kids and you're like, oh, okay. Like, fuck, I don't know. I just thought
No, that is a great question. So like in the queer community, I think it's called the root, where it's like
okay.
the like the thing that you like watched when you were younger and you were like, oh, like I think this person's hot, but like
Yeah,
you were
yeah,
too
yeah.
young to kind of realize your feelings.
Right.
There are definitely a lot of crushes I had that I realized were crushes looking back. So like Megara and Hercules, the animated one, the
Yeah.
woman in the purple dress,
Yes.
she incredible. I would date someone that's her right now. I think I've wanted to date Megara since I was 6, honestly.
Wow.
But in terms of like, but that was like, I was younger, so it wasn't sexual, but like one of the like first like, oh, this person's hot. Like
Yeah.
this is sexy. I remember like I used to watch all of the, like I love the 90s or like, like the recap shows of decades, and one of them had like the dress that Rose McGowan wore at the like 1999 MTV Music Awards. It's like a chain. She
I,
basically wore like a thong and like her dress was like
I
chainmail.
feel like I remember this because
Yeah.
that's back when the video people were really watching that shit. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
I feel like I remember this.
I think I saw that when I was like 12 or so, and I was like, oh, that's hot. Like that was one
Yeah.
of the first things I was like, I am attracted to this.
Yeah. That's dope.
And
Though.
yeah, and I like I think I like Google searched the photo because like I didn't know about porn. I was young,
It was
but
creepy.
like
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a crush. That is a certified crush. Because like normally, like I'd be like, all right, that's nice ass, and go about my day. But yeah, you out here
No,
doing research.
yeah, I was like, and then there was like, celebrity crushes. So like, I like people I listened to in bands where I was like, oh, I wish I could be this person.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then I realized it was like, no, you had a crush on them. You were
Yeah.
just, closeted.
If
Yeah.
it's more than 3 Google searches, it is a crush. Like,
Oh yes, yeah. I have had a crush on Alia Shawkat, the actress from Arrested Development.
yes,
She's
okay.
maybe in a I've had a crush on her for literally half of my life.
Damn.
She's just so beautiful. She's such a great actress.
Yeah.
Oh, she's great. I watched Arrested Development and I was like, wow, she is so cute. And like we're like similar ages. So like
Yeah.
as her career has advanced, my crush on her has remained. But yeah.
Right. If you're out there,
Alia Shawkat, if you want to hang out, I'm free.
yeah, just talk about I'll set it up. I'll get the dictionary for both of y'all, and y'all could just get on there and just read each other the dictionary. And turn the and I'll help mediate.
Thank you. That would be great.
Put on some Spiral the Dragon soundtrack, and y'all could go at it. I'm just
a throwback. That's what we want.
I
love
am a wingman. I always try to take care of my people and make sure they're good. Kendra, before we get out of here, how can people find you? How yeah, give us your deets.
My deets. My deets. So I have a website which like I do update, but like my main picture on the website is it's like 3 hairstyles ago. But I'm supposed to be fixing it soon.
Okay.
Yeah, my manager was like, we'll get that done.
Right.
And then, so that is just my name, Kendra Dawsey. I am on Instagram as bossy_Dawsey. And like, I'm also on Twitter, but like it's on private because I'm job searching. And now on Twitter, I just like post random thoughts and like I horny post, which I don't think that's me being funny. That's just
Right.
me being horny.
You just got to get it out there. I love that about Twitter. I love that about Twitter. I just, because I every now and then I go on these little fake, I won't say fake, but because it feels my buddy was like, yo, this seems like fake motivational posts, but I like really get into it. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
you know, you only got one life to live. Be grateful for the stuff that you have. And like, you know, turn to your neighbor and say, thank you. And like, and I'll just get really, and I love that about Twitter because and it's not drunk tweets. I'll just like get into it. I'm like, oh, I gotta get this out, you know, put this out to the world. And like, you know, I don't give a fuck who likes it, who retweets it. I'm just like, because I feel like those, and sometimes I laugh at myself because I think those are like safety tweets. So if I die, you know, or excuse me, when I eventually die, like, you know, like people will look back and it's like, oh, he did have like some little positive wisdom in there. It's not just like NBA basketball and like Autobots and Decepticons. Like he actually had like a little bit, you know, so I get it.
If I die, I need to clear out my Twitter. My Twitter is just a mess. I need to be like, oh, like if anything happens, here are some good things I've done. I did not just tweet about Doja Cat's ass. That's not the only thing I've done in this world.
But it's so nice. All right, last thing. If you can go back and go back in time, tell young Bossy Dawsey, what would you tell?
What would I tell young me?
What would you tell young y'all?
Young they them. Oh my God. I would tell me like it is okay to have romantic feelings about other girls, because I think I was like very shy about that when I was younger, and I felt like it was somehow dirty. I would be like, it's not dirty. You should tell people if you like them. Good thing. And don't study so much. Don't stress out so much. Chill out a little bit. Chill out a little bit. Don't be such a nerd. Have some good times. You're in high school.
There you go. Hell yeah, Kendra. Thank you. Like for real though. Thank you for sharing, and thank you so much for just sharing your story. And we look forward to I look forward to working with you. I know we're gonna see each other doing some shows.
Yeah. I hope it'd be great to see you. And you're signed with Ben, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, I remember he told me
other people we're on the same team, so it's all it's all love. So but yeah, like I know we're gonna see each other out there, and I can't wait to I know I got some shows coming up. So lately I've just kind of not really focused on who's the lineup, and I like being surprised. In a weird way, I'm just like, I don't want to know who's on the show, just like, because then when I see that person, I'm like, I finally get to see. And so
there's so many people that I'm like seeing where I'm like, I haven't seen you in a year and a half, and I'm excited. And then there's some people where I'm like, have a nice day.
I get it. You know what? Honestly, like I'm just excited because everything's so new to me in New England that I'm just like literally excited. I don't have time for the drama. I don't have time for the beef. Like everybody knows I'm that upbeat, positive black dude that fucks with birds, like, and like that, you know, and just good times and cartoons. Like if that's not you, keep it moving. Like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I feel you. I try to stay out of the drama because some of it is like really weird and petty, and it's like, why? Like I'm just here to tell jokes. I don't want to like I'm not trying to get mad at someone. Like I just want to like tell some jokes in front of people, you know.
That's it. You heard that? Well, fucking teacher that told her told them that their jokes was trash. You know what I'm saying?
That was literally 20 years ago. That teacher probably doesn't even fucking remember. But I'm funny now, bitch.
Yeah. Well, what's up? What's up? Yeah, long division this month. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
I
Yeah,
appreciate
this
it.
was really fun. Thank you for having me on. And it was great to talk to you. And I definitely look forward to connecting with you again.
All right, yo, peace. I'm gonna stop it.